Your boy D Money. We on another day in the life of a designer. What we're gonna be talking about is building a fashion house through social media. You know, nowadays it's more of a digital world and the way we do things. And you know what I'm saying? Most people, ask themselves, and this is gonna be our core question for tonight, because I know a lot of y'all are probably new to this, but the ones that are true to this know that we ask an opening question each and every night. Make sure that you like and subscribe as well too. Make sure that you share with your friends and family, so that way they can see what we're doing here at Dreams of Rulers. And stay tuned and tapped in. So, the core question is, can you build a fashion house in public, one post, one live stream, one story at a time? You know, Social media isn't just a marketing tool. It's ultimately becoming part of, a fashion house, or, just brands itself. So every video, every live stream, every podcast, behind the scenes moment is another brick in the foundation, another opportunity to give another form of first impression to, your core audience, your, overall community. The new fashion house. And this is what we're building here at Dreams of Rulers. We're building a fashion house digitally. Damn, see, But we literally are building a fashion house digitally through, our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. You know what I'm saying? If what if today's runway isn't Paris? It's your YouTube channel. You ain't never think about that, huh? Yeah. Because honestly, for me, when I first put this vision together, we were just getting into Facebook. You feel me? This is back in 2008, 9, possibly even 10, I believe. Yeah, I graduated 2010. So yeah, this is like 2009. So yeah, we were just getting off of MySpace, entering into Facebook. Facebook is starting to become what it is today. Well, it actually was way better than what it is today. But yeah, So ultimately, you know what I'm saying, how fashion has changed. Years ago, brands spoke, through magazines, fashion weeks, fashion weeks, retail stores, editorial campaigns. Today, it's your website, YouTube, live streams, podcasts, Instagram, TikToks. You know what I'm saying? People out, people, walk by, you know what I'm saying? Everyone has a phone. Everyone has access to an audience. A lot of y'all be wasting your time twiddling your thumbs, watching other people's content instead of, making your own. Hey, how you doing, Addy? Appreciate you for, tapping on the live. Make sure you hit that, subscribe button too. Appreciate you for liking as well too. But yeah, man, ultimately, attention has become, the new storefront. Like, we talked about on our A Lot of Fashion podcast episode, attention is the new currency. You feel me? Building in public, designers disappear until, a launch date. And that's something, when I first started my brand and even before, I always, had in mind that I wanted to build through the process, meaning that I wanted to advertise the process, be able to give people the behind the scenes of, everything that we do as fashion designers, as, creative directors, as clothing brand owners, and, just clothing brands in general. You know what I'm saying? So that way, those that are coming up in the game can, get the proper information, proper knowledge, actually see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Tap into, the actual steps, actual activities, actual, projects that it takes in order to, build a fashion house, fashion brand, however you want to put it. You feel me? But, bringing people, to the sketches that I designed when I first started out, researching, fabric sourcing, typically if I was going to get some fabric, I'd probably go to my man, James Baldwin, who was my mentor down here in Philly, just because he got everything. Like, dude literally got Gucci, Louis, Prada, Fendi prints. Then, he got other, materials and fabrics as well, too, all authentic leathers as well. But yeah, failed samples, bringing people into that, creative blocks, collection planning, walks, like this. People don't invest only in products, they invest in progress. And that's something I've noticed over the years too. Like back in the 80s, when they had that big art explosion, you feel me, with, Fab Five Freddy and Basquiat and other, creatives and artists. Like pretty much, what I'm saying? They were doing things to, show their audience the process, you feel me? Showing them how they set up, showing them, how they do certain paintings or, think in certain ways. Being entrenched in the audience as well, too, going to different social events, you know what I'm saying? Even during, progression. The audience should feel like they're growing with the brand. You know what I'm saying? Every piece of content is a part of the fashion house. This is where, it becomes different. A fashion house isn't only, clothing anymore. It's documentaries. It's, podcasts, live streams, design breakdowns, you feel me? Behind the scenes footage, collection journals, community conversations overall. Each one expands the world around the brand. You're not making content, you're documenting every step of the way, every construction that you put together for your brand and fashion house. You got to trust before transactions. People rarely buy anything, seeing one post or, they buy it after repeated exposure. Showing up consistently, letting people hear your philosophy, explaining your purpose and answering questions, sharing the wins and setbacks. Ultimately, the trust compounds over time. So the main thing is that you show up every day. You're creating, your ideas, whether it's through practice, and you showing your audience, or, you ultimately are going through your creative process, doing, different projects, and you documenting your story. Like, honestly, if you think about it, if you listen to Future on that first song on the album, The Real Me, fucking interview, bro, like, that's pretty much what he talking about. Like, you don't even need an interview. So far, like, bro, they ain't even got time to interview. That's what the mindset is. It's like you built your brand up so high that you don't even need interviews or extra exposure. Your brand is building exposure for yourself through your projects, through the foundational bricks that you're building with behind the scenes footage, with, live streams and podcasts and, just other content in general centered around building your brand. What's good, Bryson, Layden? Appreciate you for joining the chat. Make sure you like as well, too. Subscribe if you're not already. And, share with your friends and family, too, so that way they can get some gems as well. You feel me? But, what I really want to ask y'all, along with the core question, is if someone watched my content for 6 months without buying anything, would they understand what this brand stands for? And I know for me personally, probably not. You feel me? Just because I'm just starting to build exposure starting to market the brand on a higher level, you feel me, than ever before. So, you know, I'd probably say no to that. But, you know, that's ultimately the goal. You know, if you had your audience, do you have things set up in a way where, you know what I'm saying, they may not have to buy products, but they could just tap into the brand, you feel me, learn from the brand, and the brand's still making money. That's why I set everything up through social media. So that way, number one, I could always be on the go with my brand. I could literally be walking home, talking to y'all, chit-chatting, you feel me, giving y'all ideas, giving y'all, you know, inspiration. But then also with that, you know, these platforms is paying motherfuckers. So, you know, might as well take advantage of that. And then, you know, for my next trick, I ain't ready to throw it out there yet, but it's on the way though, for sure. That's why we also are doing this type of long form type of content. So that way, got more of a document from the beginning to the end. At least of me, that is, you feel me? So building an archive, not feeding the algorithm. This is a powerful mindset shift. You know, don't ask, will this go viral? Ask, will this matter a year from now? You know, documentaries, collective journals, design discussions, podcast episodes, and walk and reflect, you know, type streams, or, you know, just sitting down, chilling type streams. Years later, they'll become the history of the brand. Your archive becomes part of your legacy. You feel me? The fashion house never closes, you know, and with, you know, the biggest realization. A fashion house today isn't limited to a studio. It exists wherever people exist with the brand. You know, whether that's a live stream, podcast, runway, website, documentary, or even, you know what I'm saying, a conversation. Appreciate you, Henry, for hopping on the live. Make sure you like. Appreciate you. Just trying to, you know, give y'all gems, you know, mindset, principles, you feel me? So that way, you know, when or if, you know, you guys are, you know, developing into designers, you feel me? Y'all got, you know, added information on the game coming from a, you know, independent individual, you feel me? But that's also seen different brands, been in different rooms, you feel me? And pretty much, you know, everything that I'm talking about here, word, I appreciate you, Henry. Appreciate you a lot for that, bro. Make sure you share with your family and friends too, you know, people that you know that are interested in design, so that way they can tap in as well too. But yeah, man, ultimately, you know, if social media disappeared tomorrow, what will remain of your brand? I know for my brand, the message, visualize your purpose, along with living like royalty, will always reign. Because number one, everybody wants, you know, a certain level of success, happiness, peace, and, you know, material things out of this world. So, you know, living like royalty is just going to be something that stands once, you know, we become mainstream. But ultimately, the goal is, you know, with our two mantras, visualize your purpose and live like royalty, I just want y'all to continue to be inspired to move with intent, to be inspired to be your best selves at all times, or, you know, to continue to grow into that. And, you know, just have that positive mindset that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You feel me? It's your world just as much as mine. So, you know, are you posting to get attention or documenting something meaningful? Honestly, here at Dreams and Rules, all we do is document shit that's meaningful. Like, we're not trying to do anything to get attention. We're not trying to do anything to, you know what I'm saying, go outside of ourselves. We just going, you know, on our path and journey and just embracing it. What chapter of your journey are people watching right now? Honestly, this chapter of my journey is honestly the, guess you could say, right before we blow up type situation. Like, you know, going through my own little hardships, also putting out a lot more work, than I ever did before. I'm more focused than I ever have been. And then on top of that, like I said, I've been saying, we're in year 8. I'm trying to, make sure that we get bigger and bigger, especially the next 2 years. So that way by year 10, we legit, you feel me? Be able to be welcome into y'all homes, you know, warmed by, the best and the worst. You feel me? Like, we trying to, change lives here ultimately. I'm not using social media to become famous. I'm using it to, document the construction of my fashion house. Every, live stream is another brick. Every podcast is another room. You feel me? Ultimately, every collection is another floor. And years from now, people won't just see the finished brand. They'll be able to trace what it was built, one conversation, one opportunity, one sketch, one step at a time. You feel me? That's the opportunity social media gives to today's designers. Not just to promote the work, but to preserve the journey. You feel me? And honestly, that's the best thing you can possibly do. Because once you start doing that, it's going to open the door for more people that haven't been able to see your brand to see your brand on a more consistent basis. Like literally, I got 1 follower on Kick, but literally I got 100 people watching just about every live stream on that joint. So that just kind of lets you know it's not about going viral. It's about building something with meaning, telling a solid story that is legit and authentic, you feel me? And, relatable to other people. And, just showing people that you locked in with what you're doing. You love your craft, you feel me? Show them that you was able to put in the time to research in order to get things done and to elevate yourself, not just personally, but, from a brand and business aspect. So, you just got to take it one step at a time, trust the process, you know what I'm saying? Learn these, social platforms. Don't just get on it to, just to get on it. Primarily, Instagram is like a catalog or, resume of photos of your work if you use it correctly. YouTube is a search engine, a video search engine. And now they even, revamped it to where you can post it on there as well too. Then you got, TikTok. That joint, I can't even describe to you what that joint. That's just a clusterfuck. It's a waste of time. But, it works for some people. So, you just got to know how to use that joint right. Primarily, you want to make, real type content on that joint. Post, some pictures as well, too. It's kind of like another Instagram on steroids, for real. But, I would say that and, the other streaming platforms like Kick and Twitch are legit too. Like that gives you, ability to go totally behind the scenes with what you're doing, show people, the fullness of your work and, your journey. So, that's why I get on, the live streams now as well too. So definitely stay tuned, tapped in. Make sure you check out our From the Mud collection, which is out right now. We talked about it last night and a couple of weeks back as well too. But, I just wanted to give you guys more of a consensus of what we're doing here at Dreams of Rulers. Hopefully, to inspire you to, do something similar. You feel me? Not saying you got to copy me, but, just, opening the door to new opportunities. So definitely stay tapped in. Make sure that you subscribe so that way you can stay up to date on our live streams and other content as well too. I appreciate all the day ones that's been showing love to our content, to, our apparel, to, everything, bro. The live streams, podcasts, everything's starting to, go up right now. And I can't really complain about that part. So I definitely appreciate y'all for tapping in and staying tuned, even, as I'm learning as well, too. So I appreciate it. Keep visualizing, like I always say. Put a solid plan together, you know what I'm saying? Do the research and execute that motherfucker, and your dreams and goals will come to fruition. Keep visualizing. I'm out.